Hello to everyone who has joined. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning for most of you, night for some of us. We're super excited to host a webinar for our American Honors Program. It's a really awesome program, and there's so many bits and pieces of it that we're excited to go over with you today. We have a guest speaker, Rylan, who is a American Honors Success Coach. So this will be super great. Thanks for everyone who joined us. Right after Rylan's presentation, we will have a Q&A session. So if everyone can hold their questions until the end, or you can also type them into the Q&A feature of Zoom, and then we can look at them and address them once we get to the Q&A portion. But other than that, I will give it over to Twee and let the reps introduce themselves.
Thank you, Debbie. Good morning, everyone. My name is Thúy. I'm in charge for Vietnam and some other Southeast Asia markets. So if you have any question after the webinar, please just text me or call me. Thank you.
Shall I go next? Excuse me. Hi, everybody. My name's Rich, and I'm based in Taipei. I look after the Asia Pacific region, so mainly Taiwan, Japan, and Korea. And as Twee says, yeah, if anybody needs to get hold of me, just feel free to drop me a line.
Hello, everybody. My name is Xin. I'm the director of China based in Beijing, and I still have my colleagues Vivian based in Hangzhou and Patrick based in Guangzhou. So you may all know us. So if you have any questions, issues, or interested in getting more materials of our programs, please feel free to reach out to us. So passing back to Rylan.
Thank you, Xin. Yes, as I said, my name is Rylan Ollivier. I'm the student success coach with Wellspring with the American Honors Program. I am based here in Philadelphia, and I'll share my screen here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the American Honors and American Success Program. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep, looks great.
All right. So these are two programs we have that are similar, but a little bit different. We would recommend that students start their college career at a community college. There are a lot of advantages to beginning college at a community college. One is the low cost. You are paying almost half as much for college credits when you're taking the same classes, whether at a university or college. So it makes more sense to start off for the first 2 years going to a community college and saving a bit of money. As you can see the map here, we have several campuses across the United States. We have several in the East Coast and one in the West Coast in California. You see the number 2 feature big in our program here. We typically see students spend 2 years starting at a community college, during which time they earn an associate's degree, and then they transfer to a leading US university for an additional 2 years where they complete their bachelor's degree. Some of the benefits that students receive from being part of the honors program is that they get to take honors level courses. These are courses offered by the college that are more difficult and more rigorous than the standard college course. It's designed to prepare the student for the rigor of a 4-year university. The students also receive transfer support as being part of the program. Students in the program will have access to the National Transfer Network of Wellspring. Wellspring's transfer network has a variety of schools, universities all over the country that the student has access to as part of the program. The student will also receive access to transfer seminars that happen several times each semester that focus on transfer applications, the transfer process, and everything that the student needs to do to prepare for transferring to a university. This will be taught by the success coach, someone like me. We've had successful transfers to Stanford, Columbia, University of Rochester, New York University, and many others, just to name a few. Another big part of the program is the students have a success coach, which is what I do. My job is really one-on-one support with the students. I help them out with largely transfer-related questions and the process, including applications, essays, and teaching transfer seminars. The transfer seminars, as I said, happen every semester. There are several of them, they're series, and they go over all the relevant information so the student knows from the very beginning everything that they can expect and need to do to transfer to a university. Aside from that, there's also leadership and professional development resources that the student receives as part of the American Honors. The students, when they're part of the American Honors program here, they also have the benefit of being part of the domestic or local honors community. So not just in our program, but every community college will also have their own honors departments. So the benefit here is that students will get to work with some of the honors faculty at the community college. These faculty might have advanced degrees and more specialization and maybe more experience because they are teaching more difficult classes. So this is a huge benefit for the student to have a professor like that. The students will also have the advantage of honors facilities, groups, and resources on the campus as well. This could be honors places like lounges for the students to do homework and hang out. It could be student-run activities or study groups for the other honors level students at the college. And so all of these resources are available to the student when they're part of the American Honors Program. The American Success Program is very similar. There's only a couple slight differences. One is that the students mainly are not taking honors classes. That's the main difference. American Success students are taking the standard classes that college students take. They are not particularly more rigorous. They're just kind of the standard class. But the support that the students receive is the same throughout their 2 years in the program. They still receive the same weekly success coaching by their success coach. They still get all of the same transfer support, including the seminars, the information sessions, all the access to the transfer network, leadership training. Everything stays the same. They get all the same support as the American Honors. The only difference is they're not taking honors courses. Here we see a map. This is a complete path of the student experience from when they start, when they decide that they want to be an international student, until they've completed their 2 years and they have transferred successfully to a leading university in the US. So once the student has decided that they would like to be an international student, they've decided that they want to come to the United States to go to college and they want to start at a community college. Once they've chosen their program, then there's a lot of details that we need to discuss. These include like housing. The student needs to decide and plan where they're going to live. Are they going to live in a homestay? Are they going to live in an apartment? Are they going to live in a college dormitory if it's offered? So these kind of details are what they need to figure out. Fortunately, we have people in place here that can help the student to figure out all of these details. So it's not too much, and they do have help. Other details could include things like where they're going to fly into to reach the school, how will they get from the airport to the campus or airports to their apartments, all of these details. At this stage, they will also be taking or have taken a placement exam from the college. This will determine which levels of math and English that they enter in when they start taking classes at the university. The next stage would be the arrival and orientation services stage. So during this stage, the student will be selecting classes for the starting term. The student will be attending orientations offered by our program, which tells them everything they need to know about what is included in the program, what resources they have access to, events that are going to happen in the semesters that they can take part in, and all the relevant information about the program, about what I do, and about what I can offer them. They will also be receiving college prep kits that includes lots of information about how to be a successful college student with lots of things like study tips, time management tips, all of these things that are very useful for someone who's just starting out in college. And then the bulk of their time is the community college academics. So during this time, the students will be enrolled either in honors level courses, if they are part of the American Honors Program, or the standard courses for college students, if they're part of the American Success Program. They could also be including high school credits if they are taking part in the high school completion program, which is something that I'll talk a little bit later. And if the students' English scores are lower than they want, then they also have the option to take ESL courses, which are designed to help students who have a slightly lower English ability to bump their English ability up so that they can take all the required courses that they need to, like English 101, English 102, and all of their pre-major and maybe major courses. So it prepares them for that. At the same time they're taking all these classes, they're also engaging in transfer activities. So this could include some of the transfer seminars that are provided every semester about various topics. This could include campus visits to nearby universities to look at some of the programs they have there. Or it could be university presentations offered by universities in other parts of the country via Zoom. So there's a lot going on here, a lot of seminars on transfer activities. At the same time, the students are also taking part in this success coaching. They're meeting with their success coach, usually several times a month, to talk about how their progress is in the school, if they have any questions. During this time, the success coach is talking to them to find out what their goals are, to find out what they want, what values do they have, what are they looking for in a university. They begin their, exploration of thinking about where they want to go, and they can begin the planning of where they want to transfer. And so they think about all this and do kind of the preliminary research for transferring during the stage and during the success coaching. We see integrated community as a stage here. That's because it's really important in this program that we build a community. That's what we're really trying to do here. We want to have a tight-knit community of students because some of these students have never left their home country. Some of them have never been to the United States before. And so it's natural that some of them may feel homesick. Some of them may be a little uncomfortable if they're totally new to the country. So that's why we like to have a community based on getting to know the other students as much as possible. So we do this through social events, which we have every month, community activities, which are offered through the college and at the community level, and just hanging out on campus and getting to know each other. You know, we do this through trying to get students to get to know each other, connect with each other, share some of their culture, some things about their culture, like their music, their food, their fashion, and they can learn about other people's cultures as well. So we really like to build that community in the program so the students feel like they're part of something else. And of course, by the end of the program, the goal is for the student to have transferred successfully to a leading US university. So we'll talk a bit about some of the colleges we have here. So this one is the Community College of Philadelphia. This is the school that I'm based at. It's located in Philadelphia, which you can see here is on the East Coast, just about an hour and a half south of New York City, and also close to Washington, D.C. It's a very old part of the country. Philadelphia is one of the oldest cities in the United States, so it's a very historical place, which is very interesting for students if they're interested in history. It's also very culturally diverse. The East Coast was settled by people from all over the world and has communities from people who from all different backgrounds. So it's a very diverse place to live, which makes it very interesting, I think. The college itself is a fairly large community college. It has almost 30,000 students attending it. You can see the gender demographics here is there's a bit more women that are attending than men in this school. And you can see the student faculty ratio is 15:1. So that means for every one professor in the classroom, there will be around approximately 15 students. So this is one of the big advantages of going to a community college, where you have classes that are much smaller and more intimate than you would get at a university. This makes for a more unique and intimate learning experience for the student. You can see the race and ethnicity is very diverse here. You'll meet people from all different backgrounds here in your classes. And the international airport is only 17 miles from campus. So it's not very far. It's pretty convenient to get to and from the students' home or their campus. You can even take public transportation if you needed to. The climate of this area experiences 4 distinct seasons. So students coming here can expect to feel very cold in the winter and hot in the summer. And it will be often humid as well too. So the student will need to pack accordingly, warm clothes, or buy them when they get here. You can see that the college tuition cost per year is about $11,400, which if you compare it to universities, it is much cheaper. And so it's a pretty good deal for 2 years to pay these tuition prices. The program fee is $1,500, which is a pretty good deal if you consider all of the support that the student is receiving during this time, all of the information, the seminars, the access to a success coach, the access to the transfer network. So the student really gets a lot for that money. So it's a pretty good deal. And when you add up all the other costs like health insurance, books, room and board will vary a little bit. Here it says $9,700. That will vary a little bit depending on where the student chooses to live. So if the student chooses to live in an apartment, then that may be a little bit more. If they have a roommate, it might be a little bit less. Community colleges in the US generally don't offer on-campus housing. Dormitories are usually for universities. So the student would need to find somewhere off campus to live. But as I said, we have people in place to help the student to find those options, things that work best for them. So the total cost is estimated around $27,000. It's, like I said, a pretty good deal considering universities are much cheaper than that. Entry into the honors program, we can see it's 3.25 GPA. So this is a little high. The reason this is because, as I mentioned before, the honors level courses are quite challenging and quite difficult. So we want students to be prepared so that they can tackle and succeed when they're taking these classes. So that's why the GPA is as high as it is. The English language scores, as you can see, TOEFL is 77. It also has the additional requirement of 20 in writing, plus 6 in IELTS. So for the American Success Program, the GPA is a little bit lower. It's only 2.0. So this is good because it really opens up a lot of opportunity for students who maybe didn't start as strong and have a slightly lower GPA, and they need more time to build it back up. Well, this is perfect because it gives them the opportunity to get in the program and get the help to build their GPA from there. The only difference in English qualification you can see is that there is no writing requirement for the American Success entry. Our next university is Golden Gate University. This is located in San Francisco, California, Northern California. It's not as big as the Community College of Philadelphia. It only has around 3,300 students attending. As you can see, the gender demographics are a bit more even here. It's pretty much neck and neck with the men and women attending. And you can see the class size is about the same as Community College of Philadelphia. It's about 17 students per class, which is a really good size because it's enough to have classmates and have discussion, but it's not too much where the student kind of blends into a sea of faces. So that's a great advantage that community colleges have. Another interesting aspect of Golden Gate University is that 80% of the faculty are practicing professionals. So they're not only professors teaching at a college, but they're also outside of that working in their field as a practicing professional, which is a cool thing to have as a professor. Just like the Community College of Philadelphia, this city is very diverse. San Francisco is a very old city and a very diverse city. So you'll meet people from lots of different backgrounds and from lots of different communities in a school like this. It's not far from the nearest airport. It's only about 22 kilometers from the San Francisco International Airport, which is a very cool, very big airport that can take you to destinations all over the world. So it makes it quite easy to get to. The climate in San Francisco is a little bit cooler than other parts of California. It does get pretty cool at night sometimes, so it doesn't snow, but it does get pretty cool. So students will need to bring clothes to warm up a bit or buy clothes when they're there. The tuition fee for the Golden Gate per year is around $13,800. And the program fee is a little bit less. It's $1,300 for all the support and the transfer support, networks and everything. Room and board, it says $13,800. Again, this will vary a little bit depending on where the student wants to live. Golden Gate University is an exception. It does offer on-campus housing, which is a little bit unusual for community colleges, but it does offer that. So if students choose that, they can stay on campus in the dormitories, or if they wish, they could stay off campus in another housing that they feel is best for them, like an apartment or a homestay. So overall, the total cost per year is estimated around $28,900 in total for everything. The academic qualifications to entry, we see is 3.25, just like the other school. That's kind of standard throughout all the schools. We have the same academic qualification entry guidelines. The English qualification will differ a little bit. So for the American Success, it will be 31, IELTS 3.5. For the honors program, it is 71, and the IELTS is 6. Our next school is Union County College. This is located not too far from Philadelphia. It's in Cranford, New Jersey. So it's very close to New York City. It's only about 30 minutes away from New York City, actually. It's located in Cranford, which is a small town. It's a suburban setting, so it's not very big. It's a bit of a quiet place, perfect if a student wants to not be distracted and focus on their school and their studies, then this is the perfect place to go. But you're also close enough to New York City that you can have some fun on the weekend if you want to go out there. You can see it's about a mid-sized college. It's got about 8,200 students. And the gender demographics is there are a bit more women attending this school than men. And the student-faculty ratio is similar to the other schools. It's about 20 students per class, which is still a very good number. That's perfect for classroom discussions and projects, but not too big that the student is unknown to the professor. And the demographics also show that it is a very diverse place. New Jersey is one of the most diverse states in the country, and Cranford is no exception to that. So the students will meet people from all different backgrounds here and all different countries, which is very exciting. The nearest airport is Newark Liberty International, which is only 20 kilometers away. So it's not very far away, pretty convenient to get to. And being on the East Coast, it experiences 4 seasons. It experiences cold, snowy winters, hot, humid summers, and lots of rain in the fall and spring. So students should bring appropriate clothing for that. The college tuition for Union County is $14,000 for the year. And you can see the program fee is a little bit less at this college. It's only about $1,000 for all the resources the student gets. Room and board, estimated $12,000, but like I said, it depends on where the student wants to live. Union County College does not have on-campus housing, so the student would need to, we could help the student find another housing option for them that works for them. And in total, we estimate the cost is around $30,000 in total for everything for one academic year. And you can see that the English scores are the same as they were for the other 2 schools. TOEFL is 71, IELTS is 6, and for the American Success, TOEFL is 31, and IELTS is 3.5. We're excited to announce American Honors Live. So American Honors Live is the American Honors program, but it's just an online version of it that is available globally. So students do not have to be living in the United States to be part of this program. The live aspect of it means it can be done remotely in the student's home country. All the students need are classrooms and study areas with reliable internet connections. But the students will also receive help from in-person tutors, teaching assistants who can provide some supplemental instruction in the student's first language. The student, as part of this program, even though it's remote, they are taking honors level courses offered by these American schools. So they're still honors students. Upon admission to being in the honors program, the students can choose a conditional letter of acceptance from either New York University or the University of Rochester. This conditional letter of acceptance grants the students admission into the school, excuse me, after successful completion of an honors diploma. So once the student completes that associate's degree in honors from the school, meeting the GPA requirement, then they are automatically entered into University of Rochester or NYU. And the students also receive transfer coaching, just like the other American Honors non-live version. It partners with McKendree University, our school that offers this opportunity. It's a blended program, so the students are learning online and face-to-face. They're receiving instruction via Zoom from their instructors every week, as well as classroom-based instruction from a local teaching assistant. The students can take this for 1 year and then transfer to a campus, honors campus in the United States at one of our campuses. So the online courses are great because they're flexible for students. They just need internet to be able to do it, and they can do everything, for an hour or more or each week for Zoom discussions and meeting with faculty. And as I said before, the student is receiving the same coaching that they would for the other programs. The only difference is it's remote, and that's makes it more flexible for the students. We also have another program that is a high school completion program. It's offered through our school at Bridgeport International Academy. This is an international boarding school in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which is not very far from New York City. So a high school completion program. When the student spends their senior year of high school in the US studying at this boarding school, and during which time they're working for their high school diploma, and at the same time they are taking college level courses that will count for whichever college or university they transfer to when they are finished. So at the same time they earn their high school diploma, they transfer to college, and they already have a handful of college credits ready in their pocket. So this is a really advantageous program for students who know they're going to college, they know they're going to college in the US, and they want to get a head start. It's perfect for them to get some credits while they're still in high school, and they're generally cheaper as well. And after their time in the American Honors high school completion program, they can transfer to a leading US university, or they can apply to a community college to continue the honors program. This is Bridgeport, Connecticut, the Bridgeport International Academy. It is a boarding school, so the students are living there. They have dormitories on campus. They also have a cafeteria, so the students are living, they are eating, and they are studying all in the same area. So it makes it very convenient. There's no need to find housing. There's no need to find where the student is going to eat. Everything is kind of taken care of for them in one place, which makes it very convenient for the student. They can not get distracted, and they can focus more on their studies. It's also a pretty quiet town. It's not a big city. So this also gives the students a distraction-free place to live and study, but it's also close enough to New York City so that if the student wants to take a trip on the weekend to go shopping or see a show or something like that, that option is available to them as well. The program tuition at this school is $14,000, and the program fee is $1,000. If you add up all the cost of living, food, and all total fees, the cost summary in total is around $25,000, which is pretty good for a year in the US at a boarding school where the student is also receiving college credits. We've had a number of success stories in our program. I just wanted to highlight a few of them that we've had that kind of showcase the benefits and some of the great things that have come from students being in this program. The first student I want to talk about is Eric. So Eric said that his success coach made things very easy for him, helping him pick out his classes, navigate tuition, and also to connect with other students. So this showcases exactly what the role is of me as a success coach, whereas I help the students to pick their classes. Although I am not an advisor, but I am a coach. So I can informally help them and to talk with them about what they need to take, what they would like to take, what's required for their degree. We can use tools online to help the student track their progress in their degree so they can know what they need to take and be more independent. Of course, I also help them navigate with tuition and finances to make sure everything is very clear so that there's no confusion about how much they need to pay and why they need to pay it. And also helping students connect with other students, which, as I mentioned before, is a big part of the integrating them into a community and building a community in the program. That's really something that is important to me and it's important to the students in the program because they need to feel part of a community. And so this showcases that that's exactly what we do. And that's what what helps the students. Our next student was Jana. Jana transferred to Cornell University, but at first she didn't think that she would be able to get into Cornell University. And it wasn't because of her success coach who encouraged her to apply to this school. That's another part of the role, whereas students may not think that they could enter a school, but it's my job to encourage them to dream big. Every time we do transfer seminars, I kind of reiterate that it's about choosing a list of at least 3 schools to potentially transfer to. And one of them should be a dream school, should be a school that has an acceptance rate of probably less than 10%. In that case, it really is a dream. But a lot of students do make it into those schools. And so that's why we want to push students to have kind of higher ambitions about this. And the third student's name was Khan. He was from Vietnam. His proudest achievement was having his paintings displayed in the Philadelphia Art Exhibition Center. So he was a student artist, and he did not have the same opportunities here as he had in his home. So it was a very exciting experience for him to come to the US and be able to showcase his art for everyone in the community to see. And having those community connections between the college and the students is really a big thing for students, especially if they are emerging artists. So he described it like living a second life. And so that was a very powerful sentence. And so I thought that was worth showing that there were a lot of opportunities, really cool opportunities for students, especially if they have passion in some area like art, that they can express it. This page is just a list of some of the top universities that our students have transferred to in the program, but this is by no means an exhaustive list. This is just a few examples. They transferred to others besides this. And I show this to students when we're doing transfer seminars and meetings, because it shows them that their opportunities are more numerous than they think. There are a lot of schools, great universities all over the country that offer programs that might be a perfect fit for them. And all they need to do is to have the ambition and they could go there. So this picture I find very inspiring, and I think it inspires some of the students too. So that concludes. Does anyone have any questions? We can take some questions now. I think I see some.
Yeah, there are a few in the Q&A thing. I will also start allowing everyone into the room. So once you're let in, you can unmute yourself and ask a question as well.
Okay, I will start with the questions typed first. So excuse me, can you talk about the American Success Program? Who will study this program? The American Success Program is open to anyone who meets the qualifications of the GPA, which is 2.0, and the English scores, which for TOEFL is 31, and IELTS is 6.0. I hope that answers the question. May I ask about the campus environment of Philadelphia? Is it similar to New York University, where there's no fixed campus? No fixed campus The Community College of Philadelphia is it's kind of a square. So I would say it is a fixed campus. It's not like New York University, which is kind of scattered, kind of spread out through Manhattan. With Philadelphia, it's very, I guess, fixed. So it's when you're on it, you can't wander off it unless you cross the street. If the student could not meet the entry requirement of NYU conditional admission, shall the student transfer to the in-state university? So if the student gets a conditional letter of acceptance, but they don't meet the GPA requirements to enter NYU, then that's right. They wouldn't be able to enter it through that letter. They could still apply to the school if they wanted to. There's nothing stopping them, and they could get in. The letter of acceptance, the conditional letter of acceptance, is just one way to make it easier for the students to enter directly into the school through the Wellspring. So they can still do it outside of that. It would just be not a guarantee at that point. Will BIA only accept students who already complete their grade 11, or could they attend at any grades in high school? They are able to attend any grade through high school. So it's not just a senior year. They could start sophomore year or junior year. That's also an option. I believe it's less common, but it can happen. Then what is the difference between American Honors Live and American Honors Online? So Live is the option for students who are not yet living in the United States. They're still living in their home country, but they want to be taking honors courses through our program. That's the difference between online. Live, sorry. That was worded weirdly. American Honors Live is the online one, and American Honors Offline is the not live one. I'm sorry I didn't confuse anyone with that. How could students progress from American Success to American Honors? Should they complete their year one first? Yes, so the students, all they need to do is boost their GPA to get 3.25. Once they've reached the GPA requirements, then they are eligible to start in the American Honors program. It has happened, it's pretty common actually for students to begin as American Success students, but their GPA raises enough that they can do the honors program. So that's definitely possible. It might take a semester or 2 semesters, but yeah, students can transition to American Honors. How long will the ELS courses take for the American Honors students? That depends on the student. Some students, it might take 1 semester and they finish their ESL courses. For other students, it can take longer, 2, sometimes 3 semesters. So it's really up to the student's level. It's also up to them how fast they can get through, because the ESL courses, they are semester, they're a semester length course, but there are also some accelerated ESL programs that can speed it up. So they're going through it faster. That is not guaranteed, but it is an option sometimes. Students could take summer courses as well for ESL. And so it depends on the student's level and how fast they can work through it, given the courses available. For the American Honors program, if students GPA just around 3, is there any chance to join honors program? If their GPA is 3, then they are not able to join the program. It would need to be 3.25 at least. As I mentioned, the honors courses are quite challenging, so they want to make sure that students are set up to succeed, and they do have the capability to succeed in those classes. So yeah, 3.25 really is the minimum. They can't let in anyone if it's just 3. But if they have a semester where they got some good grades, they can boost it and they can pretty quickly enter the honors program. If the student joined the American Honors Live, how could they cooperate with a success coach? For that, the student would work through Zoom, just like they would communicate with their professors in the classes. They would be having Zoom meetings with their success coach something that's pretty easy and common that happens in the program, even in the US. If the student is, busy one day and they can't make it to campus, I'm happy to have a Zoom call with them. So everything is remote, just like it would be for the rest of the college. Can you explain the difference between American Honors Live and online? So American Honors Live is the online component. So there's only one online component, and it's for students who are in other countries. Maybe Lynn could clarify that question, because I'm not sure. Can I ask by speaking directly? Day Mio?
Hello?
Yes,
you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for the presentation. I'm a mom and also agency from China. I can see the advantage of this program. It's very money saving, and it's very impressive to see that girl transfer to Cornell. But I'm going to put it straightforward, okay? It seems like money saving is the only advantage I can see here, because I'm a mom myself, and for families that can afford to go abroad to study, money, okay, this is one of our considerations, but our top priority would be why I would choose America. Because if I want to save money, I can go to Europe, I can go to New Zealand. So the advantage of America could be like high tech, could be high employment rates, or the intern you can provide. I would like to know the information about the employment, the intern, and the successful stories about this. And second of all, what I concern is the university rankings, because the parents would compare between different countries and different universities, and they want to see if my kids can go to a top universities. But you have successful stories, that's very good. So I would like to have more precise successful stories, even the offers from the top universities. Like copies, you can just delete the student's name and the details to protect their privacy, but we would like to see the offers of the previous successful stories, not just the picture of one kid or the logos of the universities. I'm sorry to be so frank, but this is what the parents in China want to see. So pretty much that's my question, and I would like to know like two things in summary. One is the employment rate or internship opportunities the program can offer. The second is successful stories, precise successful stories, like offers. Thank you.
Okay, wow, that was a lot. So I'm curious, when you're talking about the advantage or disadvantages, were you referring to going to community colleges specifically, or our program specifically?
For me, it doesn't really matter, because I have friends and students who transfer from community schools to universities, and those 2+2 is not like really new in China. So I think the focus would be like if my kid will be successful in such programs, similar programs.
Okay, yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. So it's pretty common in the US for students to do community colleges first. One advantage of this program is that not all students start their college career with high GPAs and high English scores. But spending 2 years in community colleges gives them that opportunity to build up their GPA and to take more challenging classes like honors courses. And once they have that, it gives them an advantage when they want to transfer to top universities like NYU or Cornell or Princeton, because if they had tried to transfer when they graduated high school, they wouldn't be able to compete for that. But because they spent 2 years building up their GPA, now they can be a competitive applicant for these schools. So that's one advantage of the program. And that's the advantage with going to community colleges in general, but especially within our program is, the whole goal is to get students to transfer to these leading US universities. So by doing transfer seminars, by offering the honors program, This helps students stand out and be more competitive, because if you want to go to these top tier schools, you do have to stand out, and having a high GPA is honestly not that rare anymore. A lot of students do have 3.5s or 3.8s. A lot of students have 4.0 GPAs. And so students need to find ways to stand out. And our program gives them that by taking honors courses and having access to our network. So I hope that, does that answer your question? I think it answered the first part.
Partly, yeah. Thank you. But I'm still thinking, I'm comparing, like, if my kid got into, for example, University of Massachusetts, Amherst, or even a lower ranking, if I can get a high GPA there, or I can get a higher GPA in your program. So I would compare, you know, because I'm an agency, I send kids to many different universities. So I got to compare for the parents too.
Okay. When you say getting a higher grade at a school like Amherst, do you mean starting there immediately after high school?
Yeah, because if you pass the, how to say, let me see. Even before the college entrance examination in China, kids can be sent to the American universities, such as University of Massachusetts, Amherst, or Boston. So what's the difference between your program and those university going into those universities directly, and then after 2 years, I can transfer to a higher ranking university?
Yes, that's the goal. The goal is to upgrade as you, after the 2 years is to upgrade. So, and spending 2 years at a community college gives them time to make them competitive and make their college applications seem more impressive, that they can get to those schools. Some students can successfully transfer after high school to Ivy League schools. It happens. It's not all students are the same though. Not all students come from the same level. And so that's why we offer this program, to make it available to students who, some of them may not be ready to start at an Ivy League school. And so they need 2 years to build themselves up first, and then they can successfully do that. So part of it's about providing opportunity, but also the program is about supporting students and building them, their academic development. So I guess thinking about it in terms of academic development, that's one big purpose of the program, to, with the ultimate goal of going to those dream schools that they want to go to, whether it's Princeton or Boston University.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. If the American Honors, American Success Program can also accept U.S. citizens for recruitment. Yes, there's nothing stopping a U.S. citizen from attending the program. It's open to anyone. It's just it's a program that's kind of tailored to international students, but there's nothing stopping an American citizen from joining the American Honors Program. I mean, there are American citizens who are, fill up the honors courses. So of course, is there
there's one sort of thing to note on that, Rylan, is that if the student, holds an American passport, we wouldn't be able to pay the agent commission on that enrollment. So while a US citizen can technically join American Success or American Honors, it's not advantageous to the agent, in terms of, remuneration for that.
Right, that's a good point. It's happened that there are students who have entered our program without an agent. So I guess I was thinking about that situation for an American citizen, which could happen. But yeah, you're right. There wouldn't be a benefit for the agent for that to happen. Is there an extra fee if student studies ESL in the American Success Program? No, there is no extra fee for students taking ESL courses. That's just the credits are the same. The only difference between ESL classes and standard courses is that ESL classes don't contribute to a student's GPA. So it's really the only difference. Cost, it's the same. Anonymous attendee, how many students transferred to NYU last year? I do not have that statistic on me, so I would have to find that and send it out. I don't have it on me at the moment. I'm familiar with SCC, Santiago Canyon College honor program. So the same with them, University of California. Los Angeles Transfer Alliance program. I'm not sure what the question is there. Unfortunately, I'm not that familiar with those two programs. Those are not schools that I work with, so I would have to get back to you on that one. What countries are the students from, and how many American students are in the AH program approximately? The students are from many places. We have quite a few students from China. We have a handful of students from South America, Brazil, Honduras, students from Southeast Asia. We have students from Vietnam, Cambodia, India. So we have students from Africa. I think many continents are represented in our program. How many American students are in the American Honors Program? Approximately at the, I think two currently. We have two currently American Honors students. The majority are American Success currently. What is the average GPA of students in this program? That I could not answer. I'd have to do the math first. It would be a range. I mean, some students would have higher GPAs and some would have a little bit lower. So I would have to do the math to find that one out. Could not answer that at this moment. Leadership seminars or career seminars. Yes. So part of some of the support that the student gets would be like career seminars. This could be like information sessions based on the student's major. For example, we have probably one of the most common majors that we have is business for students. And so in that case, we'd have groupings and information sessions based on, well, you're a business major, here's some information about studying business, about being a business major. So those kind of information sessions tailored to certain students in our program, something that we do. Leadership seminars, those are also something that's available on campus. And those kind of happen, a few times a semester, but they might be on Zoom or they might be on the campus. And it's just, information session of a speaker who has some expertise in leadership, talking to the students about what they can do, leadership skills at the stage in life that they're in college, how can they gather leadership, these kind of things. And if the student is in the American Honors Program, then they also have opportunities to be in honor societies, which I always recommend students do, because honor societies are a great way for students to have a more impressive resume. And it also provides the students with a lot of scholarship resources and lots of access to things like professional development, including leadership seminars as part of the Honor Society. So that's one way the student gets this information. So I always recommend students do that to receive that kind of information. How many honors courses are available in these three colleges? How many honors courses? I'm not sure how many honors courses. The honors courses will change every semester, so they're not going to be the same. They are typically a set of courses that go together each semester, and the student can choose to take a few if they're only a part-time honor student, which sometimes happens. So yeah, I'm not sure how many. Usually it's six or seven are offered per semester. for an honors degree. It might depend a little bit on the college. Day Mio? Yes.
I think Day asked her question earlier on.
Oh, we already answered it? Okay.
Yeah. I have one final quick question. In terms of the conditional offer letters from NYU and Rochester, at what point do the students receive those, and do they have to do something in order to receive those letters, or they come automatically? How does that work?
They can request it.
They request them, okay.
And that can happen early in the student's first semester if they wanted to.
Yeah.
It's really about their interest in the schools.
Okay, got it.
Well, I think we had some really great questions just now. If anyone has some lingering questions once we end the webinar, feel free to reach out to your regional rep and they'll be able to answer that for you. Some of the more specific questions about specific examples of students transferring, GPA, average GPA, some of those numbers that we may not have on us right now, you can always request with your rep and we can always pull those for you and get whatever information you may need to be successful. So always be sure to keep your rep on speed dial whenever you need any of those kind of things. Before we conclude, does anyone have any last questions? Great. Well, thank you to everyone who joined us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Rylan, for giving such a great presentation. Yes, we can work on getting profiles and GPAs, all that kind of stuff. So again, be in contact with your rep in order to receive that information. But other than that, thank you to everyone. Have a great morning, evening, night, wherever you are. So
all right, thanks Darby. Thanks everyone.
Take care. See you now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Rylan. Bye, Darby. Bye, Rach. Bye, Tway.
See ya.